This year marks 40 years of data from the AIMS Long-Term Monitoring Program, one of the longest-running coral reef monitoring programs in the world. For 4 decades, our team has tracked changes across the Great Barrier Reef, helping Australians understand how this remarkable ecosystem responds to disturbances and how it recovers over time. Our latest surveys bring some encouraging news after last year's steep declines.
We recorded total hard coral cover from manta toe surveys on 121 reefs spread across the Great Barrier Reef. We found coral cover increased in the northern and central regions and remained above the long-term average. In the south, coral cover remained relatively stable despite a small decline, a notable outcome following the substantial losses following the 2024 mass bleaching event. While these are modest changes, these results indicate that the reef has begun recovery following the substantial losses we reported last year.
These results remind us that not all bleaching events have the same outcome. The reef did experience mass bleaching in 2025, but it was less intense, less widespread, and caused little coral mortality compared with 2024. Despite this, it likely prevented increases in coral cover that would have been expected in the absence of disturbance. Bleaching was recorded in parts of the northern and central regions earlier this year. We surveyed many of these reefs after a late summer monsoon lowered temperatures and recorded little sign of coral loss from this latest regional bleaching. The monsoon also spawned tropical cyclones Narelle and Koji. Our surveys did record some damage, but a full assessment will be available in next year's report.
As well as manta toe estimates of hard coral cover around the perimeter of entire reef, our team also collect more detailed information on scuba along permanently marked sections of reef. This helps us understand what happened beyond total hard coral cover and how the responses of different corals have altered reef communities following the 2024 mass coral bleaching event. Using the detailed information from 71 reefs, we found that different types of corals responded differently, but that the reefs dominated by Acropora were the most heavily affected. These corals can drive rapid increases in coral cover, but are also the most vulnerable to bleaching.
One of the greatest strengths of our program is that we can place each year's results into the longer context. Over our 40 years of monitoring, we've recorded the cycles of damage and recovery from regional disturbances. The most dramatic and volatile changes have been recorded over the past 15 years, where coral cover has reached historical lows and, most recently, historical highs. Even though this year's results show that coral cover is still above average in 2 regions, the increasing frequency of heat waves is still of concern. Since 2016, we've seen 6 climate-driven mass coral bleaching events on the Great Barrier Reef, together with impacts from floods, cyclones, and crown-of-thorns starfish. A 5th wave of outbreaks is now starting in the north, and the developing El Niño comes with higher risk of mass coral bleaching next summer. Our long-term record shows that coral reefs can recover when conditions are favorable, but climate change is shortening the time available for that recovery.
The Great Barrier Reef remains one of the world's most remarkable ecosystems. Its future and the future of reefs around the world depend on reducing global emissions, strong local management, and ongoing science to support reef adaptation and recovery.
40 years of data helps us understand the cycles of change on the reef. Each survey adds another piece to the bigger picture of how the reef is faring, and this large-scale, long-term perspective has never been more important.